All right, we'll see if this is working. Hey guys, I'm doing a test here. This is starting live, so we'll see. Live, quality, good. Okay, this is a little spontaneous. I don't know if I'm actually live. It says I am. Let's see if I can refresh my page. So I'm testing, guys. How do you refresh this? Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey, I don't know if you're watching or not. My videos. I don't see it here. So I may or may not be live. And if I am live, I don't know if anybody's watching. Okay, I'll do it this way. Well, this is a bit unfortunate. Shouldn't this show up here? Not latest. Where are all the videos? Videos. I don't see live streams. Oh, hold on. Hold on. 17 watching. Aha! So I am live. Hey, sorry guys. You got to watch me not see. This is sorry. No warning for this. What's going on, guys? You never can tell when you're live. That's one of the things, right? So I'm actually kind of spontaneously, well, we found out yesterday. So we'll see how I'm going to do this. Going live for Adorama at 5 Eastern. So that's in like 2 hours. So I'm testing everything. So let me know if it sounds okay, because they get testy. They meaning Seth gets testy if I don't do it right. So I'm going to be on my own, and we're going to be doing some splashes. Actually, like 2 days ago, Gavin Hoey did something on drips. Apparently, when photographers don't have models, that normally shoot models, don't have models, we just shoot water. Like, that's basically what we do. So it should be kind of fun. We're going to do some splashes. Normally when I do this kind of demo, I like go out and buy all kinds of props for it and do it like it would be like an actual shoot, but I couldn't go buy stuff, and I figured I'd use what was in the studio because it might be fun. Maybe that's what people are going to have to do anyways. So anyways, but I figured since I'm up, I might as well talk. I got a message, and of course, I totally didn't write down the person. I actually haven't approved it yet, but it was funny because I have a little list, and my list of things to talk about is, because I had done over this in the summer, what was it, the summer already, when I talked a bit about like how to break into certain types of photography. So I was going to do a multiple part one about commercial photography, because that's really what I do. And I think this kind of relates. They had asked about advertising. Like, do you advertise? So the answer is, when I was doing it a lot, yeah, you did. There was things called, there was like the black book and the workbook, and you would basically, this is before it was so easy to find web pages and these kind of things. So essentially you would put these ads in these books that would go to all the, Alternate Pick is another one. They would go to all the advertising agencies. So they were big, beautiful books, and it would cost like $5,000 a page. You know, they put them out like once a year. And they were amazing. And actually, it was one of those things that separated you as a pro. Because like, if you weren't serious, you know, you're not going to spend 10 grand, because of course you got to do 2 pages to be in a source book, right? So anybody who was there was established, and it was a great way to look at photography as a photographer coming up. Like as an assistant, I used to love to look at the different source books and see how that worked out. But those are less, you know, they're still there. They're like online. You guys can look. There's still workbook, and Alternate Pick is still around. I don't, you know, after a while I stopped advertising and stuff, because once you're kind of established, these days you can kind of bring people to your website based on your name and stuff, because we can do a lot of stuff ourselves. So the question is really about advertising, and it kind of depends on what kind of work you do, right? If you are doing, let's say you're doing commercial work, which is what I'm, car going by. By the way, guys, I'm in Manhattan, and it is like desert. Well, I came at 6 o'clock in the morning to avoid seeing people, because clearly we're not supposed to be really out and about, but I needed to come into the city for something. So I got in here super early to avoid seeing anybody, and it was interesting to see Manhattan very empty. So I haven't, then I did what I had to do, and now I'm here, and I'm going to stay here until tonight. That's the reason why we're doing a live stream. Anyways, yeah, so where and how you advertise really depends on the work you're going for. You know, I always say, put your work in front of the people that are going to hire you. So if you are going to go after commercial work, And if you're going after large advertising agencies, then something like Workbook or Lookbook might be good. Although I feel like that was always just supplemental. It's kind of like putting a billboard on the highway, right? You don't just put billboards on the highway, you do all kinds of other stuff. So normally you're directly soliciting them through postcards. I will say this, as much as like it's easy to, it's easy to send somebody an email. It's easy to put up a website. I mean, easy, relative. To make that extra step and send like a beautiful promotional thing, like whether it be postcards or some kind of thing they can keep, is actually, it does stick out. So if you're gonna do that kind of work, and you might think, oh my God, it's so expensive, I spent $50 for a promo, but the reality is that if you really narrow it down to the people that you really want to work for, there might only be 50 of them. And then that's not that much money. I mean, it is, but it's not, in the course of the year, you send out one beautiful promo, and then you send out, a bunch of postcards and stuff like that. That's generally, for commercial work, that's generally how I've always done it. And then, like I said, there's word of mouth. I mentioned that before. If you're doing what I call retail photography, which is, that almost sounds kind of insulting. That's not what I mean by that. But like if you're selling to the consumer, right? Like people that come, well, I mean, with the exception of like actors, and I guess people that come to have shoots with me are not like somebody off the street. It's not just a person that wants photos, right? Generally speaking, people that want to shoot with me understand like who I am and what, that I do fashion or whatever, and that's why they're there. So that's a different market than like if you're trying to sell just a beautiful portrait of somebody, let's say like engagement photos or wedding photos or senior pictures or even just pictures that people get when they have various times in their life. They don't want baby pictures and stuff like that. That's a whole different market. And yeah, I mean, I think you got to advertise. I mean, I think that it's important. The thing is, where you advertise really depends on the business, right? And it might sound oversimplistic, but that's really what it is. Like if I am trying to get work shooting, let's say newborns, right? I'm not going to advertise in the actor headshot directory, right? Which there is. I mean, there's that kind of stuff that exists too. You're going to advertise in some place that people would hire you for that. I mean, likely, maybe make deals with shops that sell baby clothes, high-end baby clothes, because you want people to buy. Talk to, obviously those people, either if they're not doing it themselves, make a connection with wedding photographers, because oftentimes people get married and then they have children. I mean, it's kind of common, that kind of thing would work. So, hey, Seth, let me know if this is all working, because I'm doing a little test here to make sure everything's flying. Yes, the plexiglass, yes, 100%. Don't worry, I used the scratched one. Yeah. Yeah. I'm using Seth's plexiglass. We have a giant sheet of plexiglass here that is completely scratched. I do not know why we have it. It should just be gone. What's happening here? So I'm working multiple computers. We're going to see how this goes tonight. It's already scratched. I used the scratched one. Well, the white one's not scratched. I put that underneath. Yeah, I'll get you some new plexi when this is all over. We'll visit Canal Plastics. But we're going to do some splashes. So yeah, I mean, so yes, you should advertise. And where, it really depends on what you do. So when you say advertise, what does that mean? Like, for instance, I make videos for YouTube, like I'm doing, right? So when I put a new video out, I might say, hey, I'm going to promote this on Facebook or Instagram for people to see. That's advertising, right? Everything we do to promote ourselves is advertising, and you should definitely do it. If you just put a website up and hope people are going to find you, that's probably not going to happen, So you got to do that. There's word of mouth, and there's also you got to get out there and do your thing. What clamp is that? Where? This? That? That's just an A-clamp. That's easy. Man, easiest question of the day. Too late. Yeah, I'm always wrecking this stuff. I was in my Discord, though, by the way, so, check that out. I gotta tell you, I muted Discord because it was ringing left and right last night. I can't figure it out. You like that, right? With the little fingers, magic fingers. We're gonna do against black. I like to do splashes against black. I was gonna do white, and then I changed my mind because white's fun, but black is sexy. So we're gonna see how we're gonna do. But I'm mostly there. This is gonna be an interesting one. Yeah, there was a box. The box of coffee. Thank you for the coffee, by the way. I haven't opened it yet, but yes, there's a box of coffee. Was that the clamp we were talking about? Let me know. I know there's a delay. Any questions, though, while we're here? So I guess this is a good time to ask questions. I am going to specifically speak twice, I said specifically in one sentence, about losing stream quality. I'm also using the crappy iPad to stream because I didn't want to lose the login on the good iPad, so that could be part of the reason. It says quality good from here, though. I don't know how accurate this is versus that. Don't open it, we gotta divide it proper. Hey, listen, I don't know when this thing's gonna be over and I need coffee. In advertising with restaurants and menu food shots on location, do you use food stylists or do you guide that chef on how to plate food? That is actually really interesting. It depends, right? I would not be guiding a chef. If a chef knows how to display the food, then they're able to do it. If they cannot do it, then you need a food stylist. I mean, many chefs are trained in plating food. So they might be fine, but I always use a stylist. My feeling on that is this. There's lots of things that you can do as a photographer. Oh man, I didn't plug those things. I just realized this is not plugged in. Hopefully we don't lose the power. There's lots of things you can do, right? There's lots of things that we can do ourselves. I'm gonna walk close to the camera so I can plug it in. Hopefully you can still, don't wanna lose power. There's lots of things you can do yourself, but anytime you can have a stylist, like especially on like actual jobs that are paying decently, you want prop stylists, you want food stylists, you want, clothing stylists, you want every stylist that the client and budget can afford, because that removes stress from you. And they're just trained. Yeah, nice shot of the side of my head. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, hold on. So yes, I would definitely use a stylist whenever possible. The thing is like we want to be like these, you watch movies and like the photographers like this rebel by themselves. Commercial photography is teamwork. So yes, stylists are super important. Am I hardwired? I'm hardwired from the sling to the wall, yeah. But I think if it's jaggy at all, it's probably because of the iPad, or it might be you, because a lot of people are saying it's fine. So, yeah, stream fine at 720. But again, I'm using my old iPad as like the interface, so it could be that the sling. Well, actually, I don't know why that would make a difference. I am. So yeah, I would, if a chef, in fact, if you go to a restaurant and they are going to hire you to do the shots and the chef is like, I will plate it myself, I would probably have a conversation with them and see if you can get them to pay for a stylist, because I think that the stylist is worthwhile to have. And remember, the stylist is not just about plating the food. The stylist is about knowing what goes together with like the forks and the background and the plates that they use, and all that stuff goes into what the stylist does. All the little things on the table, that's all the stylist. Stream is good, stream is good. Stream in Canada is good, yes. No, I'm using your internet cable. You stream using an iPad and camera? No, I mean, yes. I'm using Sling Studio, which I'm gonna actually bring it to my house. I'm gonna do a video about this thing. It's basically a multi-cam switcher system, and the iPad is just the interface. So I don't stream from the iPad, not really. Screen not so good on this iMac. What's considered commercial photography? That is a good question. Commercial photography is photography done for businesses, basically. So if you're shooting a portrait of a lawyer, let's say, for their business cards, I would consider that commercial, or their advertisement. Maybe not their business cards, for the advertisement. If you were shooting the same lawyer for a family portrait, that would be what I call retail photography. Yeah. Is there anything of yours I'm not using? Yeah, well, actually, I used your Black Sea. I'm using your Black Sea stand. You can't see it over there. Stream still not good. Still not so good. Interesting. I don't know. It could be, refresh if your stream's not good, people, because it looks like most people it's good, and I show a good stream here. So, I mean, who knows? I think it's going to come and go. Yeah, take it off auto resolution, because sometimes that does the dealio. Yeah, I do. I was nothing until I met Seth. Hey, Daniel, use high-speed lenses because the flash is completely unnecessary in the studio. Or because of the flash. Do I use high-speed lenses? So I guess what you're saying is, do I need fast lenses, or because the flash I don't need it? I mean, I use good lenses. I use the best lenses I can afford. And often the best lenses from a manufacturer are their faster lenses. So yeah, I mean, I do. I don't usually shoot them wide open. Yeah, like for this, I'm shooting, I mean, this is an f4 lens, but tonight I'm going to shoot at f8, f11, I don't usually shoot wide open. Do you prefer LED hot lights or strobes for tabletop product shots? I almost always prefer strobes. I mean, unless I need to do something special, in which case I would use LEDs, but not flat panel bulby ones. I use like data lights with projectors and stuff. Video and audio trickery, boo, and I know, it's been so long. It felt so weird coming in here. I came in and like disinfected as soon as I got here at like 6 o'clock this morning. Even though nobody's been here, so I don't really know. Well, actually, some people have been here. How do you get the deal? How to get a good deal to shoot in a studio? I mean, look around. We share space because we don't. The thing is, when you're doing, so if you're the kind of photographer that you have customers just walk in and you do photo shoots, which I don't think exists that much anymore. It might be hard to do what we do, but we're all commercial photographers in the space, so we all have clients who book us out weeks in advance. So basically, we just share the space, so it makes it much cheaper. Because you believe me, a studio by yourself in New York is very expensive. Stream is fine, perfect. Well, it's perfect in Bulgaria. And listen, it's just as bad in New York. The rest of the world's getting a good stream, so that's all I care about. Oh, and South of France is good. Ah, you refreshed, okay. Advertising during today's events okay, so what I would say about to not lose momentum, what I will say is this, I'm getting a lot of emails. This is my personal opinion, so take it as you will. I'm getting tons of emails from people. Various companies that I work with or have bought their products. And the ones that I'm not immediately deleting are the ones that are offering some kind of, here's a webinar about using our product, or here's, some free education. Here's this. These are the companies that's the advertising strategy that's working on me anyways. Those are the emails I'm opening. All the ones that are like, here's a discount. I'm not opening them because right now I'm probably not going to buy equipment. It doesn't make sense for me to buy equipment in the middle of when I don't know when the next job is going to be right? So if I were running a company, I would not be sending out discount codes, unless they're for educational software. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Oh, I just lost this camera. By the way, this stupid, is it that one again? It's not the one that's on me, is it? No, it's the other one. Hold on, I lost my camera again. This stupid Sony keeps falling asleep. Yeah, it's a 6500. I cannot get this stupid thing to not turn off. And it's weird, I've had this camera for like 2 years, and now it just suddenly is doing this. The Sonys are the most unreliable, I'm sorry, I don't want to bash Sony, but they're the most unreliable cameras I've ever owned. Auto res scaling. Yeah, the 6500, I don't know why. Maybe I have to get it repaired or something. It keeps turning off for no reason. So yeah, that would be my thing. If you are basically, for instance, if you are somebody who, I don't know, I'm just gonna make something up now. Let's say that you do family portraits and you wanna show some goodwill during this period, maybe reach out to people that were already your customers and say, hey, I know that right now you're not gonna get a new portrait, but if there was one other one from that session that you really liked, I'll touch that up and send it to you. Let me know which one. I have some spare time right now, and just do it free. Why not, It's like you're not working right now anyway, so you might as well do something and give goodwill to people, and that will make them come back. That's probably what I would do. Yeah, I just touched it. I turned off the overheat warning. I have no idea. I don't want to bitch about it because I feel bad. I mean, they're good cameras. They're fine. I mean, it's like a $2,000 camera. I mean, not even. So I can't really complain about it. I do beat the crap out of it. How much of your vision artistically goes into the product shots, or do you take the cue from your client? And they picked my vision over there. It is. Yeah, it depends on the product shot. You know, I mean, sometimes you're just shooting on white or something really plain. Then obviously it is what it is. If it's something more creative, then sure. I mean, generally speaking, when somebody comes to me with an idea, so usually for the type of work that I do and my clients that I generally have, I mean, some of them know exactly what they want and that's it. But a lot of times they come to you because they like your style, they like your thing. So they'll ask you, they'll be like, hey, we're shooting this box, you know, for the cover or whatever, you know, we're shooting the new cover, we're shooting a new box for this product, you know, and they will just ask you what you think. Like they'll ask you for ideas. I mean, obviously art directors have ideas, but they'll be like, oh, we're thinking about doing cookies, you know, blah, blah. And you will pitch something, you know, it's part of your pitch. But it also depends on the job. Yeah, Z50, I'm gonna switch over to the Z50s, I think. You know, these cameras have done their job. But yeah, so how much? It really depends on the client, you know? I mean, I have literally had, I mean, normally like when you shoot portraits and stuff, you have a lot of, you know, they want to do what you, but I've literally had people walk in and be like, this is exactly how I'm going to stand. This is exactly how I want it lit. This is exactly what I want. And I do it and they come in and out and they're happy and it's done. I mean, even in a portrait. So it happens in any type of photography. But for the quality, since all the COVID things started, YouTube puts it at the lowest. Yeah, well, that makes sense. They're getting so much slammed. So anyways, that's it. You know, like I'm just thinking this is working now. But yeah, as far as advertising goes, right now, you know, is different than the future. You know, I think right now you really want to think about, I mean, you can plan something for the future, but I would not try to like offer people discounts. You know, I just don't think that's the right way to do it at this point. I think that's if they're not shooting or not going to do something or you're not able to shoot because of the situation, then offering them a discount is not going to make them shoot with you. I would maybe give something away or produce some interesting things with them or for them that are free, just to keep them in contact. That'd be my thought process there. Yeah. What industry has the most consistent need? I mean, they all do. What you have to, on Mars it's good. What you have to consider is that some industries don't shoot as often, but they generally pay more, you know? Like I used to work for a guy that we used to do the cruise ships, like not the exteriors of them, but like we would shoot like the catalogs for the cruise ships. They sometimes buy rights for like 6, 8, 9 years, you know? Because that's about the time that they revamp the ships. So they basically do them, they like refresh them every so many years, and they only really buy the major package for the advertising when they do that. So it's not that often, but they're huge jobs. So other things like fashion catalogs, you know, 2, 3, 4 times a year you're gonna have catalogs, depending on the Instagram sponsored ads. I think it's fine. I mean, if you're trying to get more viewers on your Instagram page, I don't see any reason why not to do it. I know Facebook ads are great. You know, when I was first launching my Facebook, my door's open, I want to make sure somebody comes in. When I was first launching my Facebook, my professional page, because I hadn't really used it, I did some, you know, sponsored ad things, you know, like you do for Facebook, and it worked great. I got a lot of followers. I'm having a hard time pricing my images for advertising social media use. Yeah. I mean, it really depends on who the person is, you know. So what I mean by that is, and your name has got to go. So I thought you had to go. I'm like, well, why am I answering it then? If you are, what does this thing say? Tap to start recording. No, I don't want to record. Again, if you're talking about somebody who is a relatively large company or a larger company, and then they're using your images on Instagram, that's going to be much different than somebody who literally just has an Instagram account and wants to use the pictures. What I would probably do, and I recommend this a lot, and I think it's a good idea, go to a stock photography site and see what an equivalent stock image would cost, and generally charge a little more than that. Because that way you can figure it out, you know? Yeah, 10K followers, an actual brand. Yeah, I would charge them for that then, because I mean, you got to look at it as like, especially if that's their only advertising. So, you know, you really want to look at it and be like, well, you know, these images are going to get you, views, which hopefully are going to get you people to buy your product. But yeah, I would look at what like a stock image would cost. You know, go to like Getty or one of the big stock sites and see what an equivalent image costs, and then a little bit more because it's going to be their special image. Yeah, simple as that. I mean, it's a good place to start. There used to actually be this software that I don't have anymore because I don't really do that. I mean, I know what, excuse me, for the jobs that I get, I have a pretty good idea of what to charge, so I don't use it anymore. But there was actually software that was designed for that, and they based it around stock, basically. That's kind of what they did. It was literally for stock, like pricing out stock, and then you could use it for regular. Are photo signature logos dead? I mean, I never put a logo or anything on my picture. I think that's cheesy, but that's just me. So I think they've always been dead, if that's what you're talking about. The idea of sticking something on your, like a watermark or something, to me is like, yeah, that's just, ugh. I mean, I like to get credited, but you get credited in a proper space. I think people that shove watermarks all over everything, there's only one reason in my mind to do that, and that's if you're trying to sell prints and you're sending somebody proofs. So it's like you do a relatively inexpensive shoot with the hope that you're going to make money from prints. And you just don't want people to like steal those pictures, which is like what we used to, like school pictures or whatever, they used to have this big stamp in the middle of them. But if you're like putting stuff out with your thing on it, it just looks cheesy to me. Right. Watermarks are whack, exactly. What application? I don't remember what it's called. It's called something like Photographers Pricing, blah, blah. If you just Google it, you'll find it. It basically allows you to price out stock photography, like actual stock, not penny stock yourself. And you can use it for assignment. Well, the old version that I had, which was like years ago, had a function for assignment work as well. Because generally you would charge less for stock because then you can resell it, right? If it's an assignment, then it's different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you have. $2,500 is a decent amount of money. How do I advertise my work? So for fashion work, at this point, I directly solicit clients that I want to work for. I don't advertise in the open market really anymore. There's enough kind of word of mouth that that I get occasional jobs from that, but mostly I just specifically target clients that I want. And I send promotional materials, and I reach out to them. That's it. Yeah, yep. At 5 we'll be on for Adorama. I'm gonna actually bail in a minute so I don't die over here. I'm gonna lose my voice before we go. I don't know how long this live stream will be for Adorama, but I'll do the best I can. People like cheese. Nah. I don't know. I think that it's like the people that are this is gonna sound insulting. I can feel it coming. Generally, people that are the most paranoid about somebody stealing their pictures have the least amount to lose. Like all these people with like these huge watermarks all over their pictures usually aren't selling them anyways. It's like, why? I guess they think it's advertising, but it just looks cheesy to me. I mean, looking at it from a commercial point of view, it might be that your signature on your picture might get you some other actor to shoot with you or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that could work. I don't do it, so I can't say. No, I mean, some things need photo quote. That's it right there. That's the software. I should read the question. Speaking of software images, companies use them to get cheap imagery. In your opinion, there's still quite a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a market for custom work because there are custom products. I mean, some companies might just buy stock photography for certain things, but you have to also consider that, like, let's say that it's something generic, like it's a life insurance company, right? So you want to show like a family like playing in the park or whatever. There's plenty of stock photography for that, and they can get it cheap. The problem is any stock they get cheap, somebody else can also get. So next thing you know, it's like they're this big, life insurance company has got the same picture as some other thing that doesn't really work, and it's the same picture. That can really work against them. So most bigger companies are not going to do that. They'll do it for like quick hits, but they won't do it for the real stuff. More money or more jobs? Right, exactly. Usually stuff that pays more happens less frequently. Huh. Okay, yeah, fast lenses. Yeah, I think I made a video about this where I talked about it, but the thing about fast lenses is that, I'll just quickly cover it again, is that, yeah, usually it just means they're the better glass anyways. Like I have the 85 1.2 Canon. I don't ever shoot that lens at 1.2, but it's a great, beautiful lens. It's much nicer than their other 85s, so, even though I shoot it at 5.6 or whatever. Yeah, custom means custom. That's just the way it is. I mean, I've seen people do really terrible like Photoshop stuff to like make it work, but usually, where like somebody would be like, they're selling this, and they don't want to pay for a model, so they buy some stock shot of the model going, and then they put this on top, and it looks terrible. I mean, it's bad. But like if somebody that's going to do that would never have hired you anyways. That's the reality of it. Anybody who's that cheap would never have paid for photography. They just wouldn't have had that stuff. So, yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to jump off, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It seems like everything worked. Well, I guess I'll switch. I mean, if one thing's working, it'll all work. So come by at 5 o'clock on Adorama. I'm gonna do some splashes. We'll see if I can. Splashes are one of those things that are such a fun thing to do as a group. So this is super cool if anybody of you like live with people that aren't photographers to get them involved in this. So come by our Adorama. Not actually come by Adorama, but come to Adorama's YouTube in about an hour and a half, and I am going to bail out of this, and hopefully we'll make that work. Since it's working now, that means it'll probably completely fail later. So I think I stop it by going over here. Huh. I don't see a stop button. Yeah, 5 live. Yeah, we just put it up I think this morning. 5 p.m. Eastern today at Adorama. We're gonna jump up, so you'll see me shooting something. Let's see if I hit this button. Does it stop?